Dan's down there loading up the car. We got so much stuff up here in the hotel room. Had to make a couple trips. So got all the camera gear here. Still got some camera gear I haven't got to play with. It's been busy. So this hotel was pretty good. It's about equivalent as last time. I don't know, I might knock it down a half point. So give this one a 7.5. The deal is though up here, and I don't know if this is common everywhere, but got that nightlight again in the bathroom. So that definitely scored some extra points. It's a clean place. So we had a good night's sleep. A little bit better night's sleep last night. So I've stayed up again till 1:30 getting the video produced, and then crashed out, went to bed pretty quick, and then didn't wake up again till 7:30. And so we're running a little bit behind time. I know Bill and Mark are already on the road. A bunch of them, there were people on the road to the next checkpoint 6 a.m. I was still snoozing. So we're running probably a little bit on the back side of the trip this morning, but that's all right. We can catch up. We just got to be in West Salem by 5, but they're running us all the way up to pretty much the lake, so Lake Erie. So we got to run past the strip by a long shot and then hit a checkpoint and then come back. So we thought it was going to be a pretty easy drive today, not looking ahead because we knew we only had to go to West Salem, but we didn't consider that on the route they might make you go way out of the way, and they do. They make you go way out of the way, and just part of the challenge, drag and drive. So that's the drive part. So it's not going to be an easy drive today, but we'll get it done. There's only two checkpoints again, and the first drive it's like 30 miles. The second drive is like 100 something again, like just over 100, and then on the way back I think maybe it's like a 30 or 40 mile drive. So that's what we got ahead of us. So we're gonna get this thing packed up and get on the road. Alright, didn't have a lot of time. Don't want to mess around with filming this morning, so we're already on the road. I got Dan driving so I can part around with stuff. But yeah, heading to first checkpoint called On 3 Performance. Apparently Mark had bought some turbos for his Mustang from this place. So it's actually not too far mile-wise. It's like 30 miles away. The route we got set up showing like 45 minutes from our hotel. So we just got on the road, and 45 minutes or so we should be over there. We're planning on making that a quick stop and then getting on the road for the next big leg, running up to the lake. Stop sign up here a little ways, past the tracks, then you'll go straight through that. Okay. Alright, fuel stop this morning on the way to first checkpoint. We stopped here at Circle K. We were trying to get 1/3 jet fuel, but they said they didn't have any. So best we can do is 93 octane at $4.60 a gallon. So Dan's gonna holler when we get 3/4 tank so we don't burp out everywhere. On 3 Performance inside here. They got a nice clean shop set up. They're all about turbos. So I thought maybe they were just a distributor. something with all the parts, but it looks like they actually service them, put them on, dyno them. They got a dyno back there in the floor. They got tons of inventory. So look at the shelves of inventory. All right, we stopped at McDonald's. Take a little break, get out of the car. We drove a pretty good run from On 3 Performance, our first checkpoint, up to through Mansfield. We're kind of on the far side of Mansfield. The route actually had us going up the interstate today, and we just decided to take 42 all the way up. It's going to extend our trip out quite a bit, but it's an easier drive. And we apparently aren't the only ones, because we just saw some guys in a Malibu that part of the trip that just drove by here while I was sitting here at the table. An interesting find that we got when we got here was that I went to roll my window up. I was riding passenger, and the window didn't roll up. I was cranking, Dan's like, your window's not rolling up, and the glass is laying in the bottom of the door. It's still intact, but we got to figure out how to put our glass back on the track, and it looks like it broke off. There's like almost like a two-piece metal track that's kind of welded together, it looks like, and then the glass pushes down into it with a seal, and the two pieces of the track separated. And that door's been out of adjustment, so we've been having to really slam it hard, and all that slamming over and over, back and forth, ended up snapping that thing off. Luckily right now the glass is still intact, so we got to try and figure out how to get that thing patched up. All right, window's stuck down. It's not stuck, it just ain't attached to the mechanism. So when you roll the mechanism, the window's just laying there. So it's gotten separated. So we're gonna pull the duct tape out. We're gonna try and duct tape her for now. The fix, we're thinking we're gonna do some scouring pad, and we'll clean this and then epoxy it back together, and then we'll tape it to kind of reinforce it again. Dan's got the hard part. I taped the back side. So we got some tape right there on the window track. Oh, there, right there's a good shot of it. And then you gotta keep it out of the way of the window mechanism, because it slides on there.
I'm gonna try to catch this. Let's take it all the way up. Y'all start seeing some black.
Nice.
I wish we could get another one back farther, but we don't have to mess with it after. We might. I think this will work.
And then we could take the whole glass out, put a strip of epoxy on there, and set the glass back in.
And then we could put more tape just to hold it.
Yeah.
I'd just put tape or loop and it'll always be on there, and that'll hold it while it dries.
All right, window repair. We stopped at Walmart over here, picked this up. We already had the epoxy. Well, I thought ahead on that. We had the Gorilla tape, duct tape, and so the only thing we didn't have was something to scuff it up and clean it with. So we figured since we're doing a repair, we might as well do it pretty solid. So Dan's in there sanding the two pieces. Then he's got some alcohol wipes. He's gonna wipe it down, and then we're gonna mix up that epoxy's got little self-mixing tips on it, so we should just be able to squirt it out on the bottom track all the way across, and then we'll easily set the window glass down on it, and then we're going to take the Gorilla tape and reinforce it, because it says it takes 24 hours to fully cure, 20 minutes to set up. All right, here's what we got going on. We got this track down here that's Dan's sliding right there, and then if we look up, I don't know if we can see it, but the bottom of the window's got metal trim on it too, and those are supposed to be attached together. They've come apart, so we're gonna feed some epoxy across the top of that, set the window back on top, and then we'll tape it back up. All right, we got our epoxy drying along that track, and then it was a little thinner. I think it's not helping because the freaking temperature's so hot out here. It was like melting it, and so it was pretty thin. But that and the tape, I think, will be held up for now, and then I'm about to keep an eye on, maybe replace that part at some point. But literally back on track now. Just waiting on Danny. Ran to go to the restroom, wash his hands up. He had that epoxy everywhere. Should have got some like rubber gloves, but at the same point, when you're working with the Gorilla tape, I don't know, the rubber gloves would have worked, so I think we just had to get it all over us. He got the worst of it. All right, stop number 2 for day 2. We're at Fire Corps, and where are we at? North Ridgeville. So we had to pass Dragway 42 to get up here, and then we got to tag the base, and then we got to go back. So we're not going to hang out here too long. We went and checked it out. It's a small little shop, built a bunch of ignition wires, kind of their deal. So look like they're into automotive stuff. They got a little side garage over there with a bunch of, look like privately owned vehicles probably that they're doing. But Dan's already locked in and ready to drive to the next spot. All right, leaving Fire Corps, ignition wires. But it was kind of fun because on the way here we got to double back on a bunch of other drivers. So we got to pass a lot of cars coming up. I doubt we will necessarily pass many going back to the track now because we're kind of later in the day. Most of them have already probably been through. Dan's gonna drive us in town, then I'm gonna find a place for us to stop and eat. That way we can get fueled up before we get to the track. It's so hot, I'm not usually too hungry, but I'm thinking last thing we had was a couple strips of bacon and some light breakfast at the hotel. And we're probably gonna need some fuel in us too, not just the car. Mark's starter went out. Mark and Bill have been stranded. They're just out here baking. They came over here to this restaurant and thought they'd get a bite to eat, and instead they just got stranded and out here melting in the desert. Bill found them a shade tree and an umbrella over there. Take a nap under.
Oh, okay.
We've been fiddle farting around all day, so we were a long way from coming to rescue. It ain't free to be a co-pilot around here.
Welcome.
All right, we went and got drinks at the little Dairy Queen, off-brand Dairy Queen down the street for Mark and Bill. They're set up behind the restaurant on a little table with an umbrella, and so we're coming down here to get some dinner. We're at a little Mexican restaurant here. So Dan and I got some chips and salsa, some cold waters. Feel bad for Bill and Mark. They're stuck out there in the blazing heat. So we got them set up with a actually the owner's down there, this restaurant that closed early. Got them set up with a picnic table and an umbrella. But they've been out there for hours already, and they've got a little bit longer to go. So we came down, we were hungry, we were on our way to grab dinner when they texted and said they needed help. They needed some tools and some equipment brought to them. We ended up doing a call out on the WhatsApp to get a jack because they needed a jack to get that car up off the ground and get that starter out. So I did a call out for them, and somebody answered up pretty quick. So it's a pretty neat community. Check that dude out. Some carne asada. Dan's got a good meal going over there.
Oh yeah.
He's got some chimichanga chicken in there.
Beef. I got the beef.
Beef chimichangas. Brad showed up for the rescue. He's already got the new starter bolted on there. Now we're gonna see what happens. They got a new button too, just in case it's that. So I just got done with my first pass, day 2, and went a little too fast. So my dial in based on my best run last track, or the time slip I turned in last track, was a 15 flat, and I went a 14.98. So I went just a tad too fast, which is surprising because it's been so hot today, but I think actually it's probably cooler right now than it was when I ran yesterday. So I actually shifted a little bit sooner here and ran a little bit faster, a little less mile an hour though, probably based on my shifts. And so I'm gonna let this thing cool off a little bit, and then I'm gonna head back up. I got flagged for, now Mark's not the only one getting violations. I dusted the track with gasoline because my gas cap was on, but it got cockeyed and I didn't seat it right the last time we fueled up. So gas, as soon as I punched it, started gaining acceleration. It just started pouring out the back. It's more like a mist, Dan said, and it evaporated pretty quick. We're still waiting to hear from Bill and Mark and that whole side. We haven't heard anything yet. They still got that Jag we borrowed, and then we're still waiting on see if they found an electrical problem or what's going on with that thing. So hopefully they get back over here soon so that people can get their jack back. All right, just got done with my second run, stop 2, and it went pretty good. I shifted a little earlier and we slowed it down so we got under our dial, which was kind of the goal. I didn't want to turn in a break in because that's automatically kind of disqualifies me. So I got a 1504 that time, and my dial's 1500. So here's the, I'll have Dan hold the camera there. And so here's the time ticket. So I'm the 292. So we went a 15:04.89, and then we went 94.98. So almost 95 mile an hour on that one. So first run was 14.98. So I scrubbed 6 off. I was trying to scrub 2 off. Yeah, 100ths off. I scrubbed 6 100ths off. So yeah, it's not too bad. I was hoping to be a little closer, but I'm glad it didn't break out. That was the goal. I don't know, we'll probably just hang out a little bit, see what's happening with Bill and Mark. They're still not here. It doesn't sound like they're going to make the pass, so they're not going to make it. But they're going to bring this jack back that we borrowed, and they've had now for a while so they can get it back over here. Then they're trying to chase down some, sounds like melted wires and some burnt fuses and different stuff. So it's more than just a starter, unfortunately, for them. Hopefully they can get it fixed tonight and get it back on track, and they can finish out the week, even though they won't technically finish the event.
I watch him on YouTube all the time, so I'm glad to.
Oh yeah, Mark does too.
They're back. Old man's garage. I've met most of them at the different races, and all of them. Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Yeah, he loves them. He loves like how they just their presentation and their knowledge and their personalities. He just resonates with them, you know.
But I met his wife. When we went to KD Raceway, she was right there when Tommy did his wheel, and she was filming right behind us. That was neat.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're everywhere. They're just they're common people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's awesome
and
when
they're
you
close.
can like have such a following and still be so humble, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, you hit it right on the head there.
Yeah. What number are you?
292.
You're all right. Yeah. That's it. The old Nova guys.
I had an old white Nova when I was growing up.
Oh, nice.
That was my childhood car.
They're great cars. I think everybody. I had one. I mean, he's had his for 25, 30 years drag racing. It sat for 20 of those years after he did high school and college.
Okay, close your eyes for a second.
Oh, you're gonna make the bugs come.
That was easy.
Thanks again, we really appreciate it.
These things are a lot of fun, and it saves a lot of steps at a place like this. My God. Yes. I wouldn't even up there yet.
The Magnum's alive. They got it fixed. They had to tear it into the dash, and they had some wires, I think, that maybe got burned. I don't know this whole story. They definitely had some fuses get burned up. And so they cleaned up a bunch of stuff, got it fired up, and got it here. They actually had enough time to run. I think they got it fired up at like 9:20, and we seen them at 9:30, and we tried to get them to make a run, but they were spent. I don't blame them. They had a rough day. They were out there melting in this heat for 8 hours, abandoned basically at that restaurant that was closed. So they've been sitting outside in a sweltering heat for 8 hours. So when they got it running, it was so frustrating because they thought they'd just throw a starter on it and get it going, and that didn't work. So by the time they got fired up, we're all excited because we're over here making passes. Man, you gotta do it. Go make a run. He's like, no, I'm over it now. So but it's back on the road, so that's good to see. Brad and Linda came to the rescue, so now we're all packed up. It seemed to go by fast. This was a fun track to be at. We got our stuff all picked up. We got all loaded up back in the car. All right, our favorite place to be, at the gas station, putting more fuel in this thing. So I need fuel a little faster this time since I took off with my gas cap not on all the way, going down the track and dumped gas on the track. So not only did I make a mess on the track, but I ended up needing more gas, but I don't think I dropped that much, but it's kind of funny. So I think what happened was my license plate holder broke. See, the little light came off down here, just rusted and broke. So we didn't want to lose this, so we zip tied it. And then when we were messing with that, we didn't put this all the way on. We kind of set it up there, but I didn't cinch it all the way down. And then we took off and drove and forgot all about it. And then when I went down the track, it ended up spilling out, making a mess. So I need to get to Restoration World and get a new license plate mount. All right, made it to our hotel. We're at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Asheville. So we came back away from 42, and then we're going to have to go back past again tomorrow. But I wasn't exactly sure how this stuff worked. And we're not the only one here. There's another Buckeye Skip drag and driver here. So we're not completely crazy. Or if we are, we're crazy with somebody else. So we're going to go get checked in, get up to our room. But another reminder, like and subscribe.